They dupe all these oysters into following them and then proceed to shuck and devour the helpless creatures en masse.
Hey, what's up, world? Just want to do a quick video exposing this character, Tim Truth, here. Now, I've actually wanted to make a video exposing this guy, Tim Truth, probably for over a year now. I've wanted to make a video about him since Brian over at High Impact Flicks recommended him to his audience. Now, because I know Brian is a shill, I know that everyone that he recommends is very likely a shill. So, when he recommended this guy, I saw that this guy, Tim Truth, was promoting the holographic plane theory on 9/11. Now, this is a totally bogus theory. I'll be making a video explaining why this theory is completely absurd, but I've been wanting to expose this guy, Tim Truth, ever since then. As soon as I realized that this guy was another guy who's out there trying to make the truth community look bad, I've wanted to expose him. So I actually just got the perfect opportunity to expose him that doesn't involve talking about 9/11, because I know it's like a really contentious issue. Those holographic plane believers, they're either complete morons or they're shills that aren't worth my time. So I haven't really wanted to make a video addressing the holographic plane theory. So this is perfect. This video, I can expose this guy Tim Truth for the lying shill that he is without having to get into any sort of controversy and without having to try too hard. So Tim has this video. It's titled, "Genocide Just Starting? U.S. Death Spike Intensifies! Mass die-off is accelerating in younger people!" Actually, I couldn't scream that whole thing. I'm sorry if I fucked up your speakers. It's just like, he has everything capitalized like this. It's like, you're supposed to scream it. He's got it capitalized. He's got like the exclamation mark after the question mark. So it's like, he's really emphasizing this title. He's really serious about this video. So he presents a whole bunch of charts in this video. Now, I don't know if he made the charts. Maybe he's just citing somebody else who made the charts. I think, if I remember correctly, he's actually looking at his website. It doesn't matter. So these charts that he's showing, they're exaggerated and they're very misleading. But instead of breaking down each and every chart and explaining like how they're exaggerated and how they're misleading, I'm going to focus on this chart that he presents for the 0 to 24 age group. And I want to focus on this chart because, remember, he's saying that the mass acceleration, or I'm sorry, the mass die-off is accelerating in younger people. So younger people is this 0 to 24 age group. So he gets his data from this website, usmortality.com. which is this website right here. So I have a couple pages open here. Some pages from the CDC, which actually I don't even think I need to include in this video. So let's start by looking at the percentage of death. So at the top of this page, you can go to like excess percentage. So this is the percentage of excess deaths. So we can set up the filter so that we're looking at the age group of 0 to 24. So now Tim Truth, the charts that he uses actually go back to 2015, but the charts that I found on this website, they only go back to 2020. Maybe if I go to historical, I'm not going to do it now. Whatever, it's not necessary. But his chart goes back to 2015, which I think is unnecessary, and I think the only reason why he has it go back to 2015 is because it makes the chart more exaggerated. So his charts go back to 2015, and now this particular chart doesn't exist in this website. This chart, what it's showing here is the percent excess deaths in blue, and now this red is supposed to be charting the 52-week average. So here, if you see here, we got 2015 week 1, week 21. This thing is moving in 20-week movements here at the bottom. I think it's set up in 20 weeks. Yeah, like 2020, week 21. But anyway, I'm just trying to explain this chart. I think it's important to understand this chart. Now, this number over here, though, that he has is not associated to this excess deaths. And this is why I have a real issue with this chart, is because I think some people might look at this chart and they see that it's a all-cause weekly excess deaths. They see that's the title of it, 0 to 24, and they're looking at this percent increase, and like, let's say over here it's showing an over 20% increase, which, as you're going to see, is a lie. But over here it's showing an over 20% increase, and some people might like look over here and be like, oh man, there was like an excess amount of deaths of over 2,500 people in just that 1 week. Like, so over 2,500 extra people that were supposed to die ended up dying this week. But that's not what this is actually saying. Whatever. It doesn't really fucking matter, I guess. Anyway, let's look at what really does matter, which is the lies that he actually presents here. Let's actually look and understand the lies that he's presenting here, because he's trying to make, to me, it's like I don't know if he's intentionally trying to scare people, or if he's doing what all shills do, which is muddying the waters with misinformation. Like, he has to make the people in the truther community look like they're like schizophrenic or something. But let's look at what he does here, okay? So let's focus on the percent increase that he's claiming here. So remember, this is 2015. We just need to focus on the 2020s over here. So let's look at, let's say, what is this, 2020, around week 21. Anytime around week 21 or after week 21, let's see if we can find an over 20% increase in excess deaths for this age group, 0 to 24. Okay, so here's our chart. We're looking at, once again, I just have to stress this, we're looking at percent of excess death increase, this age group, 0 to 24. This is week 27 of 2020. You see the highest that we get here is a 13% increase. He's presenting an over 20% increase. And I know some people might be like, oh, you're just nitpicking, it's still an increase. Okay, whatever, let's look at this increase, okay? Let's look at what's actually presented here, because I know some people are probably like focusing on this, and they're like, oh, look, it's increasing at the end a whole bunch. Let's look at actually what's happening at the end here, okay? So to me, he's lying here. The highest it is here is a 13%. They got 11% and 13% here. He's showing an over 20% increase. Then over here, he's showing another over 20% increase in 2021, sometime around week 29, a little after week 29. So let's look at that. It's probably around here. We got week 29 over here at 7.8%. This is 2021. And then it goes up to a maximum of 16%. Maximum of 16%. He's showing an over 20% increase. He's showing like a 25% increase on his chart. Doesn't exist. Okay, now more importantly, let's focus on what he's showing at the end here, and what this chart is showing at the end here. Now, to understand what it's showing here, unfortunately, it doesn't say what it should say here, which is what it says over here. So let's look. This is week 14. Okay, after week 14, it just goes off the chart, right? So let's see. Let's try to understand what's actually being shown there. Well, in order to understand that, we need to go over here, which is to number of deaths. And when you go to number of deaths for this age group, and you look, oh, wait a second, something's going on different with the graph here. Let's see if we can zoom in. It's a little dotted. Why is it a little dotted? Oh, that's why. Because it's a predicted. If you look at it, that's expected. Let's go to the blue dot. It's predicted. These are the deaths that are predicted. Everything in this blue line. Who's predicting them? Not the CDC. It's this website. This usmortality.com. They're just predicting this. And this prediction is going into this excess mortality chart. However, look at this. This maximum, the maximum that it's predicting for the percent excess mortality, once again, we're looking at that for this age group. The maximum that it's predicting is 24.1%. Let's look at the chart that Tim Truth is showing over here. He's showing a chart that's showing over 40%. Where's he getting that? This is the source, supposedly. usmortality.com, and supposedly this is sourcing the CDC. So, what the hell? Over 40%? Where the hell do you see that? This is usmortality.com. Nowhere is it predicting an over 40% mortality increase for this age group. And the thing is, he does this so that he can continue to exaggerate this 52-week moving average. And he does a very similar thing with the other charts, to a greater or lesser extent. Now, the thing is, I'm pretty confident that he's doing this intentionally, because even if we look at the thumbnail, this is his thumbnail. It's very exaggerated. This thumbnail that he has here that he's using to sell this video, it's showing the 40% increase in excess deaths, and I already showed that 40% doesn't exist in the data that he's looking at. So to me, this guy is just a complete dirtbag. This guy and the people like him, the Bryans, like, the high impact flicks, they're all dirtbags. And I believe that what they're doing is taking part in a much larger psyop. Like, I don't think that this is just to get clicks and make money, like, it's not them just, like, putting sensational stuff out there that will catch people's attention and then get those people to watch their videos. I think that there's a much larger psyop that's going on here that, I've sort of talked about it in previous videos, and, I'll talk about it again in other videos. But right now, I'm just going to end this video. I'm not feeling too good. I'm a little congested and kind of have allergies. And I think I did enough in this video to expose this guy Tim Truth. And, his subscribers, the people who listen to him, they're not going to really listen to me either way. There's like this cult of personality. It's like, I swear, man, sometimes I really think, because I was sort of a believer in the whole 2012 shift of consciousness thing. Like, I believe that around 2012, we would be entering a new level of consciousness, and that, like, basically some people wouldn't make it. And, like, basically, like, those people who wouldn't make it, they would basically be like drones. Like, they wouldn't be able to operate on this new level of vibration. And of course, like, that was just all like new age hogwash. But I swear, man, sometimes I'm like, maybe that shit really did happen, because some people, they're just not with it. They're just, I mean, like, you see it on the left. I'm sure that people who are listening to this, I'm sure that most of them can see it in when it happens to leftists, or like they're just completely irrational. They're just completely disconnected from reality, unless you can't have a conversation with them. Like, they exist in their own head. Like, they have their preconceptions of reality, and they're not letting them go. And they really do. I mean, they act like NPCs. And honestly, like, I see a very similar thing in pretty much all of these communities. There's very few people in, like, the flat earth community and these alternative communities that are really able to, like, self-reflect and be critical of their own communities and be critical of their own echo chambers. Like, you can tell that they really do not want their echo chamber destroyed. Like, the sort of mental gymnastics that I've seen people pull to maintain their false reality is just unbelievable. At the same time, though, I know that there was no shift in consciousness, and it's just always been like this. All throughout history, there was just, a very small bunch that was capable of being self-critical and of asking more of themselves than others asked of them. Most people don't really want to do all of the research and all the work that goes into finding out the real truth. And I mean, it's a long journey. It's a long, painful journey. I mean, I used to fucking believe in the whole reptilian thing. I was at one time a flat earther myself. Before Trump's presidency, I mean, I supported Trump. I voted for Trump in 2016. Like, right now, in my dresser, I have, like, an original Trump 2016 pin. Like, one of the first pins that came out for Trump's 2016 presidential run. And, I've been there. Like, I know it sucks. It sucks, getting suckered into something, believing it, and then having to realize that, shit, yeah, you got suckered again. But, there's a saying, and it goes, I think it goes something like, a fool who persists in his folly becomes a wise man. But it's like, some of these fools don't want to realize that they were a fool. Like, the fool has to realize that he's committing a folly for him to become wise. The fool is persisting in his folly, and somebody comes over and they're like, hey man, you're fucking up. And the fool's like, no, I'm not fucking up. What I'm doing is just perfectly fine. Then the fool never becomes a wise man. Then the fool is like disconnected from reality.
Following these faiths based on mythological figures ensures the destruction of one's inner being.